What if I told you that as a Brit, you are actually French? How would you feel about that? What if the government of a neighbouring country was telling the world that your national identity is fake? What if that country started a war with England and then said it hadn't? That might sound ridiculous. It could never happen, right? But something like that has happened to me. My name is Oleksii Burov. I was born in Kyiv, Ukraine. On the 24th February 2022, I was working on my undergraduate dissertation here in the UK when the news about Kyiv being attacked reached me. I knew immediately that my family was in direct danger. So too was my country, and not just as a nation, but also as an idea. You see, Putin says we don't exist, that there is no such thing as Ukraine and Ukrainian culture. He says we are Russians, and he doesn't call it a war. He calls it a special military operation. He says they are freeing Ukrainians from an oppressive regime. This is disinformation. It is a major battlefront in the war to protect Ukraine. And it is a threat not only to me and to Ukraine. It is a threat to you and to every Ukrainian ally too. It fuels Russian clandestine activity all over the world, including in the UK too. You have probably encountered shocking claims about Ukraine in the media. For instance, Russia has questioned the existence of a separate Ukrainian national identity. Between the 2014 occupation of Donbass and the full-scale invasion of 2022, Putin branded Ukraine as an artificial country that had been unjustly separated from Russia. The Kremlin has insisted that the majority of Ukrainians see themselves as Russians and are victims of an extremist fringe acting in the interests of outsiders. Russians believe that Ukrainians do not exist and want to persuade you of that too. The truth is that it was the Russian Empire that disintegrated the Ukrainian Cossack state and introduced ethnic-based serfdom. And it was the Soviet regime that banned the Ukrainian language, literature and folklore and repressed the Ukrainian intelligentsia. Russia also lies about its military successes. Russia would like you to think that it is winning the war it says it is not really fighting. State media trumpets every minor gain achieved by Russian troops on the ground in eastern Ukraine, even when advances are measured in meters. The truth is that Russia is losing, badly. They have changed tactics, and since October 2022, they are bombarding cities and civilian infrastructure. This is not because it gives any military advantage. It is so that the Kremlin may amplify the impact of these strikes, exaggerating the hardships of the Ukrainian civilian population to make it seem like they are winning. So, what can you and I and all of us do about this propaganda? You might think that a single individual can't do anything. But you can begin to build what is called information hygiene, separating the poisonous misinformation from facts. Social media is currently the front line for the Russian information war. Platforms like Twitter are overrun with Russian trolls spreading fake news or regurgitating Russian propaganda. It is to fight against these trolls that information hygiene is paramount. Diversify your sources, fact-check what you're reading, report suspicious posts online. Engage in community fact-checking if your preferred platform supports this. Debunk Russian myths when you see them online by commenting or reposting with your debunking. If Russian propagandists are allowed free rein in the information space, this will threaten the security of allied states. You can play your part in protecting your society from Russian influence. Such fact-checking and debunking can be instrumental in winning the information war that Russia has launched against Ukraine and the rest of the world. Heroic Ukrainian soldiers are fighting for freedom on the ground, while allies like you and Ukrainians abroad like me are fighting the information war in the digital space. Ukraine will win both the information war and the ground war if each of you becomes an individual fact-checker, mythbuster, and keeps challenging misleading posts on social media. I call upon each and every one of you to help us fight back against Russia in the information space. Do not let Russian propaganda machine overpower rational democratic discussion. Remember when I started, I asked how you would feel if I insisted that you were French. Well, I know that you aren't French. You are British. And I am Ukrainian. Do not let Russia persuade anyone that you do not exist. Thank you for listening. Slava Ukraini.